Hey everybody, welcome back to Susan Lynn Psychic Medium. Thank you for joining me today. Listen, I have something really special for you today. I'm telling you right now, I'm going to give you a few seconds to get a pad, a pen, take notes in your phone, because you're going to want to record this. You're going to want to learn from this. You're going to want to use this. This is real world information that you can use to help heal your body, your physical body. You can help heal the way any kind of damage or any kind of emotional damage that you've had from your childhood or whatever, and also heal how you interact with other people. So what we have for you today is Adrian with Red Lentil Healing. She has her own YouTube channel. It's amazing. I'm going to put the link in the description. She also offers many types of healing on her page as well. I will include that information. And what she's going to do for us today is she's going to go through all of the chakras and help us understand what they are and how they manifest in our body. Like, what does your throat chakra do? What does your crown chakra do? What is your solar plexus, your root? These things really have an impact on your life. And I'm going to tell you right now, I had no idea. I literally really didn't have an idea. I had an idea about chakras, but I had no idea how important they were. I learned so much. So I hope you will too. And I need to say one more thing is that I screwed up the sound on this video for myself. Adrienne is perfectly fine. Her sound is perfectly fine. And she's the one teaching the class. So you know what? It's not a problem. But when you hear me talk, I have an echo. So it's I, love, 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 that. So you don't really want to hear that, so I edited me out a lot of it. You will hear a few things, but mostly you will hear Adrian, and that's the most important part. Adrian is also a sound healer. She's a medium. She's a psychic. She's just awesome. So I think you're going to learn a lot. I think you're going to really find this helpful. Please leave us a comment. Let us know what you think. Thank you for joining us so much. I really appreciate it. I hope this video does what it did for me. I hope it also does for you. So without further ado, I will let it roll.
And thank you. I love your channel. And thank you so much for having me. Things that a promise that I made, I'm going to say made it to myself, but we all know I made it to spirit, was if I'm going to do this, my whole mantra for my entire brand, my business, is I want to demystify the energy healing process. And Johnny from Taylor's Apprentice says this so well. He's like, when I think of chakras, when I think of energy, I think of like somebody with a one-word name out in a forest, butt naked, meditating. And I'm like, oh, that's exactly what I don't want people to think about. Because I want everybody has an energetic body. I want to make this so realistic and real world relatable to everyone, so you don't ignore your chakra system. Your chakra system is a 7-point literally grid, meridian energy system, and it's its own separate body that lives within your own physical body. 7 points. It literally starts from the bottom of your feet, or the base of your spine, as we like to more accurately put it, and goes all the way to the top of your head. That's it. It's these 7 points along your body. When you are going to, so think of it this way, when you go to acupuncture and they're poking those little needles in you, what they're doing is really poking needles to help align and bring this whole thing back to center. They're working really partially on your chakra system. So what is the chakra system? The chakra system is literally as old. The methodology and understanding of it and the practice is as old as we are. Really came to light around, I think it's like 7 AD and out in India. And really what it is helping to understand how your energy, when you think about it as your emotions, how that impacts your physical body. They're not separate, because think about it. When we leave this meat suit, or this decaying organic matter, as I like to say when I'm teaching meditation, the energy that is your spirit, your soul, it's going to go somewhere else, because energy does not dissipate. It just transfers, right? So why wouldn't you take care of this thing that's going to be alive regardless of what happens to your physical meat suit? Think about it. We're human. That's part of our human experience. I am a Reiki master, which means I can do Reiki and teach Reiki. I am a trained shaman, and I still sometimes am like, ooh, something's going wrong. Why do I feel? And I'm like, oh, have you paid attention to your energetic body lately? What are you yelling at your clients about all day, every day? Have you paid attention to yourself lately, kid? Yes. So the chakra system, like I said, it's the 7-point system that goes from the base of your spine, can connect all the way down to the bottom of your feet to the top of your head. There are 7 points. Believe it or not, these 7 points, these 7 chakras, as we call them, develop all the way through your entire life. The root chakra, this beautiful red color down here, all the way to the top, is pretty much fully developed by the time you're like 1, 2 years old, depending on which methodology you follow. And then you're going to go through redeveloping again at like age 7, and then again at age 32, and then again at age 62. Once you develop your root chakra, it's going to redevelop and it's going to continue to rebrand itself and rebuild itself, which is why you have to pay attention and constantly take care of it. Same thing with the other 6 chakras. So let's go into what each chakra is and what do they pertain to, right? So I have a chakra deck that I'm going to use as a visual because I know some people are auditory learners, some people are visual. I'm both. So I like to teach how I like to learn. So your root chakra, again, this beautiful red color, it literally starts at the base of your spine, your sacrum. I love saying the word sacrum because it sounds like a whole bunch of other words you should and shouldn't say. And it also, if you say sacrum enough, you start to mess that up with the chakra that's above that, which is sacral. So I'm like sacrum. Starts at your sacrum, the base of your spine. Okay, this basically when you think about the smaller of your back, that's where it starts. It is this beautiful color red. Your sacral, I just did it because I said sacrum. Your root chakra literally starts developing the moment the sperm meets the egg. It starts at conception, okay? Depending on what methodology you study, can develop all the way until about, your mom is about 6 months pregnant to all the way to some people say you're 7 years old. Because some chakra methodologies follow the rules of 7 because there's 7 chakras. I personally believe that it really does develop until you're about 7 months to a year old. Your root chakra is all about how you see yourself how you fit into this earth. So literally grounding, being connected to earth. It's also about safety and security. So think about it. That makes sense. You being safe and secure inside of your mother's womb. If you had any kind of trauma, if your mother had any kind of issues when she was pregnant with you, you're going to tend to have some root chakra issues, okay? We're going to call them issues now. We'll talk about what they really mean after I talk about the whole chakra system. It's also about finances, which is why I have the card for abundance. So when somebody is always worried about money, stressed about money, or feel that there's never enough, that's an imbalance in your root chakra. That's an issue with your root chakra. It's also about family. It doesn't necessarily have to be your birth family. It could also be your community. And last but not least, it's also grounding, connection to Mother Earth, Mama Earth. So, root chakra, what does it control? What are all these things that it impacts your root chakra? Always think, if you can only remember 3, think of 3. Family, finances, security. That's it.
Wow.
Family, finances, security. FFS is your root chakra. Starts it from conception to about, let's just say 7 to make it simple. Family, finances, security. Any questions? Do you have any questions, Susan, about the root chakra?
So if I have a problem with my root chakra, do you say that would typically have stemmed from my early childhood?
Yes and no. People who have, like I had childhood trauma. I know a lot of my clients had childhood trauma. A reoccurring chakra that's out of balance is always tends to be a root chakra. Why is that? Because you didn't feel secure. It also tested your family, because remember, that's one of the F's. So that always tends to show itself in a root chakra. I have a very good friend who, her father lost his job when she was young, and she remembers having to be on government assistance and having to do the homework with the flashlight. And to this day, she does not understand why she is just, driven, like, and it's, finances and this. And I'm like, well, Christine, your poor root chakra is like jacked up. Like, because you remember having to do homework in the dark and the strain and the stress that situation brought to your childhood. Because not only was it family, but it was also finances. Right. So
Double.
that was a double attack for her root chakra. There's other chakras that can play when childhood trauma, but this is one that will show up. It's going to be your root chakra. If you know people who really struggle to balance their finances, that's another root chakra issue. People who overspend. One of the things that you can always tell about a root chakra, somebody who overspends or somebody who doesn't spend, who saves all the time and doesn't spend enough. People who have a hard time fitting into a tribe, and not just talking about, my family, because nobody's family is perfect, right? But even like in a social group, a social setting, they have a really hard time finding their clique, finding their people. That's another way that a root chakra issue manifests itself.
Got it.
People who never feel safe and secure, who are always scared, it's another root chakra issue. So that's the root chakra. Let's move up. This one is, I love this guy, this beautiful orange color is your sacral chakra. Because remember I was saying sacrum earlier and I always screw up sacrum and sacral. This is your sacral chakra. Your sacral chakra develops, again, anywhere from 7 months to 2.5, 3 years old. This is also located physically underneath your navel. I call it your private parts. I don't know why I put air quotes on private parts. It is your private part. So, but your sacral chakra actually controls a lot of things. This one gets a little overwhelming, so I'm going to make it as simple as possible. Your sacral chakra controls, and take notes on this one because this one's a lot. Creativity. So how creative you are. Your sacral chakra also controls emotions. Your emotional house sits in your sacral chakra. Reproduction and actually giving birth to something. It could be human or it could be an idea. Okay, so giving birth, creating. All right. Inspiration. How do you find inspiration in the world? Also, pleasure, joy, and sexuality is tied to your sacral chakra. So that's a lot, right? Let's unpack this. That's a lot. They're like, wait a minute. Giving birth and creating and, you said something about emotions. Okay. A healthy sacral chakra. Someone who understands that emotions are neither right nor wrong, they just are. That's someone who understands and has a healthy sacral chakra. Someone who, when they're mad, they own it, they understand it, but they don't let it control them. That is someone who has a healthy sacral chakra. Somebody would think, an artist has a healthy sacral chakra. Not necessarily. An artist taps into their sacral chakra with that inspiration and creativity to create something. If they're having a creative lull, that means their sacral chakra is a little undercharged, not balanced, right? If they're creating all the time, doing, it means they're overactive. They need to slow it down a little bit and tie in to get the inspiration out of their sacral chakra. This is a little controversial, but sexual predators. Their sacral chakra is one of the chakras that is obviously out of whack, right? Sacral chakra also controls relationships, because think about it. Sexuality, sensuality, pleasure, joy, a lot of that is with relationships. That's why these two trees, even though they're rooted, they're grounded, they are who they are, but they're choosing to reach towards each other and embrace and kiss. People who are not afraid to have intimate relationships, doesn't mean sexual, just intimate. I actually share and we have a give and take. they have a healthy sacral chakra. My sacral chakra gets out of balance sometimes because I do not tap into my creativity. That can play itself out. Another thing that physically shows up when you have an imbalance with your sacral chakra, a lot of times you're going to have fertility issues. That can show up. Fertility issues is the biggest one, I think. Hormonal issues as well also show up in your sacral chakra. So those are just things to kind of keep in mind. How do you balance your sacral chakra? Again, a simple act of saying I love you to someone, owning that relationship. Some of the most creative people I know are accountants.
Oh my God.
Creating doesn't mean going to paint something. They can do a pivot chart on an Excel sheet that I'm like, how did you do that? That Excel sheet was their canvas and their Picasso, because that's how they had their creative outlet, was creating and manipulating and mastering the numbers that go into it. So I tell people that's how you should think about the sacral chakra. It's not just, I'm going to paint, or I'm sexually healthy, I know how to have. No. It's a lot of things that encompass the sacral chakra.
Wow.
Questions, thoughts, praise, comments, feedback, hate mail. I want to go back to the root chakra too. One of I always like to tell people physical things to pay attention to, and I didn't mention a physical issue with your root chakra. You will also have a lot of lower back and lower joint problems.
I was going to say that.
With root chakra. So root chakra, lower joint, lower body issues. I have the knees of a 90-year-old man. And then with this one, hormonal issues, reproductive issues tend to be something physical. There's several other physical things, but to keep it simple, that's something that's going to show up in your sacral chakra.
I'm 2 for 2 now.
That's okay. I am as well. I've got like every gynecological issue that can happen to a woman. And I'm like, and I have arthritis. So yes, I'm 2 for 2 as well.
Okay. We gotta get some healing, girl.
Sometimes the sickest people on earth, we make the best healers because we know what it's like to go through. Now we're going to go to my favorite chakra.
Okay.
There's a whole bunch of reasons why this is my favorite chakra. But next going up, so if you looked at, you've got this beautiful red, which is the...
What are you doing? I didn't know there was a test. Hold on. There's a test. You're supposed to tell me in advance. Hold on, let me get... Okay, I'm ready.
I'll help you with this part of the test. So, the bottom, this beautiful red color.
Was it the sacrum?
It's the root chakra.
Root. I could just call it root.
Think of red, think of root. Some people also call it the base chakra. That's your root chakra. Okay. Next up is this beautiful orange color, which is your sacral chakra, located underneath your belly button. Think of private parts. Think of sacral chakra. You're good to go.
Okay.
Next up is this yellow color. This gorgeous yellow color. This chakra is actually located in your stomachs. It is called the solar plexus chakra. This is one of my favorite chakras to talk about, one of my favorite chakras to work on, because this is the easiest for anybody to understand. Your sacral chakra is all about power. That's why it's the color yellow. They call it the house of fire. Okay? Your sacral chakra is all about how do you use your personal power. So this is really simple. Somebody like Trump, a narcissistic personality. It's narcissistic personality disorder, because somebody with that has multiple facets of their personality. Their solar plexus chakra is very out of whack. They're aggressive. If you think about they call that expression quieter than a church house mouse, somebody who's meek and passive. They also have an imbalance in their solar plexus chakra because they don't take action. They're quiet. They don't want to do anything. Somebody who has a healthy solar plexus chakra is somebody who takes action, who can go and do things, and who has a lot of personal accountability. Not self-loathing, not Eeyore, but somebody who goes, you know what? I made a mistake. I own it. Or you know what? I want to go start a new job because I'm tired of being broke. So I'm going to go out and start looking for another job. They take action. If you have childhood trauma, that also shows up in your solar plexus chakra because you were not allowed to take action and to do things. It's very stunted. That shows up in your solar plexus chakra. Pop quiz. What else is tied to your solar plexus chakra? There's another chakra that directly impacts your solar plexus chakra. Do you know what it is?
Heart? I have no idea.
That could be. That's a good one because are you acting from a place of love? That's a good guess. I'm not even going to say it's a guess. That's actually true. That is partially true. But it doesn't indirectly impact your solar plexus chakra. It's actually your third eye chakra.
For real?
Yes. 9 times out of 10. And I swear if I said this one catchphrase, if I put $1 to it, I would at least have $75,000 just in a year and a half I've been on YouTube. Your solar plexus chakra, when you have an imbalance in your third eye, it tends to show up in your solar plexus chakra. Why is that? If you've got a psychic ability and you can see things, but you don't act on what you see and that information you get, ding, 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 it's going to jack up your solar plexus chakra.
Dang.
True story. How I even got into energy healing to begin with. Had these gifts, even my family can tell you, oh yeah, we always knew she could talk to dead people and whatever. She was always the weird one. You get into almost my adulthood, and I have a friend who's a healer. And she was going through another certification right around the time that I was getting ready to have a biopsy on my stomach. And she's like, hey, do you mind if I test you and do this test practice and I can do it on you and it's a win-win? I knew nothing about energy healing. I was like, okay, sure, why not? I got nothing to lose. And when we're done, she goes, I'm gonna tell you something. And I'm like, how are you gonna tell me about me? But okay. She's like, I don't know what's going on, but your solar plexus chakra is a mess. She goes, that biopsy is gonna show up. You don't have cancer. You have an imbalance in your solar plexus chakra. You need to fix it. She said, and the other thing I'm gonna tell you, I don't know what's going on. Your third eye is ridiculously strong, but you're tuning it out, and that's what's causing the issues. I didn't even know what a chakra was. Now, keep in mind, I ignored her for about 2 years. And then she said, when you're ready to deal with it, call me.
Oh,
and
my God.
A couple years went through, some stuff happened, and I was like, hey, what was that C word you said? She's like, chakras, you fool. Are you ready to start working now? And I was like, I'm ready to embrace. Because I was getting messages but wasn't acting on it or wasn't believing it. When people say I have a gut feeling, that's right. It's their solar plexus chakra. It's attached and talking to their third eye.
That is amazing.
So that's your solar plexus chakra. Things you to look out for. Again, the balanced solar plexus chakra is somebody who can take action. That's not aggressive. Think about assertive equals healthy solar plexus chakra. I take accountability for myself. That's why I pulled the personal power card. And in balanced, you're going to be meek and passive, or you're going to be super aggressive. Okay. And then how does it show up physically? How it shows up physically is digestive problems from the wazoo. A lot of bloating, a lot of gas, a lot of IBS. Whether you have, there's, 2 forms of IBS, whether it's constipation prone or leaky bowel diarrhea prone. Either one of those is going to show up if you have an imbalance in your solar plexus chakra. Yeah. So take a lot of, couple things to repeat. A good mantra for people who have solar plexus issues is I am in control of my life. I take accountability. I take action. Take a lot of good, healthy probiotics to help balance and keep that gut, keep that flora healthy, are 2 really good ways to kind of help heal and balance your own solar plexus chakra.
So would that get better if you honor what you're seeing psychically or whatever is happening?
Mm-hmm. And then you'll also get, your third eye will get stronger too. Because everybody's psychic. Everybody has that's why it's called gut instinct. Everybody has some type of psychic ability, and we'll talk about that in the third eye chakra. Not everybody's like us, like Susan and I, where we're psychic mediums, but everybody you'll go, I had a feeling that was going to happen. That's all here. That's your third eye.
That is brilliant. I did not know the connection between,
these things.
Yeah, it's intense. And I having somebody point that out to me literally changed my life.
Yeah.
Literally changed my life. So I hope, again, going from the bottom up, we've got our root chakra. This is our connection to Mother Earth, finances, family, safety, or stability. Sacral chakra, orange, going up next underneath your belly button, all about our relationships, intimacy, creativity, all of that goodness. Solar plexus chakra. It gets easier as you go up the chakras because they're not as control of so many things. Solar plexus chakra, personal accountability, house of fire, in your stomachs. Next up, your whole chesticle area, which is the beautiful color green, my favorite color in the world, is your heart chakra. Heart chakra is very easy to understand. Heart chakra is all about two basic concepts. Your ability to give love without expectation, without expecting anything in return, and your ability to receive love, let people love on you without feeling guilty, without feeling weird about it. That is a balanced heart chakra. This develops again, multiple cycles in your life. It really, if you're thinking about from infancy up, it starts to develop around, let's just say, when you can kind of start talking a little bit or starting to hug. So that can be around 1.5, 2, 3 years old. And again, cycles, you'll go through another one in your 40s. Think about it, early midlife crisis. Again, I think around your 80s or 90s, right before you die. So that's with your heart chakra. Again, one of the things that blocks the heart chakra is grief. So people who have lost a loved one or had a major crisis in their life whether it's losing a job, having to move, something that causes grief, that actually blocks the heart chakra. It stunts it. It keeps you from being able to give and receive love the way you need to. Anybody who's lost anyone can tell you, you don't care. You're just trying to survive.
Yeah.
And so I also do Reiki for grief. And one of the chakras I really focus on is the heart chakra, helping to balance that back out for somebody who's experienced grief, that type of trauma. What else is really important about the heart chakra? I just love the heart chakra, and I use the love card because
I love
it's
that.
one of the easiest. It's the hardest to heal in that if you have got a lot of grief or anger, it can get trapped and it's hard, but it's the easiest to heal because it's just reminding yourself, if I'm angry with someone, I choose to forgive, not for them, but for me. Right. Because that act of forgiving, that energy that I'm holding onto and I'm cherishing and I won't let go, it just dissipates. Yeah. It's released and it's gone and I can breathe. Physical ailments that show up with an imbalanced heart chakra, a lot of indigestion and heartburn, breast cancer, heart issues, that all shows up and is a direct result of heart chakra. I'm not saying yes, all breast cancer patients are because of a heart chakra, no. But that's one of the contributing ailments to having an imbalanced heart chakra. So pay attention to that because this is your lifeline. This is a little too critical to mess up if you're not paying attention to that.
Wow.
Not your heart chakra. Next is, we're going up. This is your throat chakra. This pretty blue color. Your throat chakra is in here, in your ears, and in your throat. A lot of people think throat chakra is all about speaking. No, it's not. It's about listening to. Your throat chakra is all about speaking and listening to divine truth. Your throat chakra is your throat chakra. What do you say about yourself? Not just to others, but to universe.
Oh, wow.
Claiming who you are as a person, speaking that truth to the universe, speaking any truth to the universe. Our former president, we all know his throat chakra wasn't worth 2 dead flies smashed in a bucket of vinegar. Just wasn't. Not only because he didn't speak to the divine truth, he didn't listen to it either.
Yeah.
I have a client who's a good friend of mine, so this is why I can bring it up because I know she signed a waiver. She worked for years to be able to express herself because she had her childhood trauma resulted itself in her throat chakra. And I waited because I was like, she's not ready for it now. I got to wait till she gets to a good point where she can express herself. And she can do it now. She can talk. She doesn't listen. And it was funny. We had a session and I was like, hey, by the way, I love you dearly. But then your next homework in your throat chakra is about communication. See how nobody's truly telepathic. You still have to speak. And not just speak, but you got to listen to what the other person has just said. And you need to take it to the next level. You need to listen. And she's like, and she started tearing up and she's like, my husband is the only other person who's verbally said that to me. And she's like, and I just had an employee survey result and all of my employees said, I'm great at giving direction, but I don't listen. And she's like, and I literally just got that feedback. Like it was our session was Saturday morning. She had just gotten it Friday night.
Oh my God.
And I was like, it's real easy. Don't listen so you can respond and react. Just listen. Because you never know. Some of the best life lessons you'll ever get. You don't have to go out and screw up and have all this debt to know that you're bad at money. Sometimes you can just listen to somebody's story.
That's true.
And go, wow, I don't have to repeat that mistake that they made because they shared it. So it's all about communication, not just speaking, but listening as well. That's why your throat chakra is not just here, but it's in here too. It's all of this. Physical ailments, throat cancer, laryngitis is another physical ailment from a blocked throat chakra. Ear infections, I think your adenoids are part of all of this. That can be, especially little children. So that's all connected to a throat chakra.
Did not know. I did not know any of that.
So that's throat chakra. Moving up, third. This is going to be our favorite, and I pulled this card for us, Susan. Okay.
Okay, let's do it.
This right here is your third eye. Okay. Luckily, it's only here. And really just in your forehead, right between your eyebrows. They call it, some people also call it the brow chakra. Third eye chakra and brow chakra are the same thing. It is actually indigo. It's not, that's the only thing I don't like particularly about this deck is it's supposed to be more of this color, more of an indigo color, darker color than it is purple, because purple is actually your crown chakra. This is all about psychic ability. I tell people your ability to perceive and receive information. That's it. Doesn't get more easier than that. And again, this guy right here is connected to this guy right here. What cat snatching good does it know? Does it do to know something's going to happen that you can impact that you don't do? Another, I can always pick on me because I won't sue myself if I tell a story about myself. A couple weeks ago, I was going to have a filling done and I woke up that morning and I swear to everything, I heard clear as day, don't go, he's going to mess your tooth up.
Oh, no.
And I went, As soon as I woke up, I went, that's interesting. Okay. Went, brushing my teeth. He's going to jack your tooth up. Don't go. Don't cancel the appointment, pay, or just don't show up, pay the cancellation fee. No big deal.
Oh, no.
Guess who does the filling and now has to have a root canal? Because I didn't act on it.
Oh, that's terrible. That's terrible.
Now, I'm not saying everybody's going to wake up and their spirit guides are going to tell them to not get their cavity filled, and they get it filled, and next thing you know, you got a root canal. That's not always how it works out for people. But we've always had that gut feeling, that inclination. I shouldn't walk down there. And then you didn't. Or, hey, I should get in the car and go. But you know what? I'm not going to go quite yet. I'm going to do something else. And then you get in the car and you're stuck in traffic and you're like, why is there just traffic? And you drive by this car accident and you go, that could have been me. Yes. I listened.
Yep.
As basic as going, I've really been thinking about this person a lot. Why am I thinking about this person? She's really on my mind. He's really on my mind. And then you pick up the phone and you call them or you text them or you email them and they're like, God, I'm really glad you reached out. I'm glad you were thinking about me. I've been going through a lot. That's all up here. That's part of your psychic ability. So I tell people, when you've got a gut feeling, that's because your third eye chakra is trying to tell you something.
I love that connection. That's amazing.
I do too. I love it because it took me about 9.5 years of being a healer to understand why that day my friend was like, dude, your solar plexus chakra and your third eye chakra are jacked up. And I'm like, oh my God, I get it now. I get it. Yes. I know textbook. I had studied it. I had passed every certification there was, but it was healing. It was seeing it in practice repeated times that I was like, it makes sense now. So that's your third eye. And then last but not least, this is so simple, your crown chakra at the top of your head. This is literally your connection to universe, your connection to spirit, your connection to anything and everything. For those of people who believe in a higher power, I would call this your connection to God. That's it. When the Buddha sat in a cave for 8 months and meditated, this is what he was doing. He was opening that crown chakra and connecting out to spirit. When people meditate, they're focusing on their crown chakra because they want that connection to spirit. What I love about these two chakras is they're in direct contradiction of each other. While your root chakra is your connection to Mama Earth, your connection to yourself, singular. Crown chakra tells you, you ain't nothing. You really, I love you, but you're not that special. You know why? Because you're made of the same molecules, dust, gas, particles, and snot that comprises the entire universe. And then when you get over yourself for a second, you're like, damn, that was rude. Then you go, wait a minute, though. What a beautiful, I am no different than mountains. We're made of the same thing. I am no different from somebody else because we're made of the same thing. It's just our molecules are set up a little differently, but we're made of the same thing. I'm made of the same thing that Saturn. It's just different molecules and how it's processed. And that is really what the crown chakra is about, getting out of self and connecting to everything. Ladies and gentlemen, that is your crash course into your chakra system. And oh, by the way, I forgot. Imbalanced third eye chakra, headaches, sinus problems. Mm-hmm. Imbalanced crown chakra, you cannot sit still. You're everywhere. You can't focus because you're not connecting the source. A lot of ADHD is tied to crown chakra. I tell people it's pretty, it's an easy answer, but it's also like when I say it, I don't want anybody to roll their eyes at me, and I'm going to explain it in a second. If you have ADHD, the best way to connect your crown chakra is through meditation. Yes, I know! How am I going to meditate when I have ADHD? I always tell people.
Blow back. Yeah, I know.
Meditation isn't sitting there and not thinking about anything. The Buddha wouldn't have been able to sit in a cave for 8 months. Nobody who meditates would be able to meditate. That is nobody's humanly possible. Some are better at it than others, but they're not. Meditation is about thinking about one thing single purposely for a prescribed period of time. That's all meditation is. Meditation is about going, today I want to focus on giving light and love to everybody. I'm just going, what is it like to give light and love? And just, even if it's just repeating, I give light and love to all sentient beings. I give light and love to my boss who's getting on my nerves and I want to choke her. I'm going to give light and love to my husband. That's all you're doing. And you're focusing on that. And then a plane goes by and you're like, I heard a plane. Instead of going, is it a B-37? A DC-10? Only a jerk who knows aviation would do that. I can't believe I just listed like two obsolete airplanes that nobody knows what I'm talking about. Is it a 747? What is it? You would go, an airplane went by. I choose to give light and love to my dog. And you go right back and you bring yourself right back to what you were focusing on. It's acknowledging the distraction, but not going down the rabbit hole. And that's the best way to combat ADHD because you're going to say for 2 minutes, I'm going to focus on this one thing. Not tune everything out, but just try to focus on this one thing. And some days will be better than others. And that's why it's called meditation practice because you have to practice at it. Right. And that's it. And so that's why they're saying it's a crown chakra issue because your inability to be able to, that connection to focus on that thing is probably why crown chakra is tied to ADHD.
So what if you have problems with every single chakra?
That is human. So here's what I love about the chakra system. They're never always balanced all the time because it's a living thing. It's an energetic body. You can wake up and your root chakra is tight and right and ready to go, but your third eye, your solar plexus, and let's just say your throat chakra are jacked up. Let's say throughout the day, by the time you go to bed, now your root chakra is jacked up because you're antsy and your crown chakra is messed up. You're a human being. That's okay. Nobody's chakras are perfectly aligned all the time. You're going to have people like myself, for example, who, if I put a lot of attention and focus on my root chakra because of my childhood trauma, it'll be balanced for a while. But then life happens, and then it gets out of whack. That's okay. It doesn't mean that now my root chakra is forever going to be messed up. It just means, hey, I need to put a little bit more attention into this chakra. There are times where I even have a hard time speaking and standing up for myself. So my solar plexus chakra and my throat chakra may be misaligned. And that's okay. And I just do a mantra. I may even do some Reiki on myself. May eat a couple blueberries, which helps because of that blue. It's supposed to be, even though they're purple, but that blue color. I may drink some yellow Gatorade. Again, I'm being silly, but you get what I'm saying. And all of a sudden, these are now realigned again, or they're getting closer. What I like to say about the chakras, because they are little vortices. If you took a picture of them, they are like little tornadoes that actually are out in front of your body. Some people use the word blocked. Something's blocked. I personally don't use the word that a chakra is blocked because what they're saying is something gets into that vortice and it actually blocks it and causes it to not rotate. I like to think of it as a little bit more simple. I think of a chakra as a tire. If you have too much air pressure in the tire, your car's going to wobble. It's not going to drive funny. It's going to drive funny. If you don't have enough air pressure, you're going to have a hard time accelerating. Your chakra, each chakra is like a tire. What you want is balanced. One day it may be overinflated, and what I call overcharged. Some days it may be under, which I call undercharged. And it's as simple as taking out your tire gauge or checking in with yourself and going, do I have the 33, DPI, whatever it's called, to make my car run smoothly? Is my chakra balanced so my life can run smoothly? How do you work on your chakras? This is the thing that I love helping people do. First of all it depends on your chakra. First thing is knowing and being aware of when one of your chakras is misaligned, is either overbalanced or underbalanced. I've been really worried about money lately. And is that a real threat? Like, as in, I have $4 in my checking account, I lost my job, that I don't have enough. Right. So first of all, it takes being aware of the chakra and knowing what it looks like in its healthy state. And that's for all 7 chakras. So that's why I always talked about what does it look like when it's balanced, right? Then if you notice that there's an imbalance, I'm worrying about money, I'm scared to take charge, I'm having a hard time expressing myself. I don't feel like I'm getting any psychic hits right now. I'm having a hard time focusing and connecting to spirit. What do I do? Okay, well, if it's my crown chakra, probably should meditate. Or hey, you can even ingest foods that are tied to the chakra system. If you even Google foods chakra system, you'll get a whole list of foods. By the way, Ayurvedic healing, chakra system, it's tied in, right? So do I need to eat more red foods, more bell peppers, beet juice? It could be something as going, I may need to go to therapy because I may have some emotional issues. There's the real reason why I'm having an issue with my solar plexus chakra, my heart chakra. You can go to an energy healer. Do I go do Reiki? Crystals are a great way. I swear to Jehoshaphat, there's like 8,000 crystals that are aligned to each chakra. Meditating or even placing crystals. I have a friend who will not leave her house unless she's got like 13 crystals stuffed in her bra. I personally, and see, I'm like, that's uncomfortable, but if that's, I'm not judging. I just think it's hilarious. What else? You can, there's so many ways. Eating foods, like I said, meditating, crystals, essential oils. Anybody who's into scents, I am. Essential oils are great. Just like crystals, there's like 18 different essential oils for each chakra that you can sniff, diffuse, and they all come from Mama Earth. So you're getting a 2-for-1. You're also focusing on that chakra, and you're working on your root chakra at the same time because you're connecting to Mother Earth.
That's cool.
So those are just infinite ways to help balance and work on your own chakra system without having to be a licensed, trained healer. I'm trying to give like the simple answers on like eating. Also taking care of watching out for stress. When we are stressed, stress is a trigger for every horrible reaction a human being can have. You want to know, I always tell somebody who are going on a date with a guy or a girl, I'm like, do something really simple that can cause someone to be stressed, or watch how they respond to stress, because you're going to see that person in their actual, that's who they really are as a person, right? Because their defenses are down. They cannot act. The game is up, and you see how they respond. So eliminating stress, because stress brings out the worst. Even the best in people still have a moment when they're stressed. Eliminate stress as much as you can. And just love on yourself.
Yes.
That is the big thing. And just remembering, again, going back to that crown chakra, we are made of the same molecules that make up this universe. We are human beings. This organic decaying matter has a very short shelf life. Have you done enough of what makes you whole and happy? And doing that and just thinking about that alone heals all of this. Because if you're doing what makes you feel whole and happy, you're going to feel secure on this earth. You're going to take pleasure and joy in things you do. So I've already did your root chakra and your sacral chakra. You're going to act more because you know that this time is short. 70 years, 80 years, that's not long. You'll blink. You're going to say, I love you more, and want more love to come into you. You're not going to give a darn toot, and you're going to say what needs to be said because you know that time is short. You're going to want to know what's coming up. You're going to open that third eye, and you're going to connect because you know that this time is short.
Wow. That's powerful.
Yeah, it's just life. It's living, you know? And the one thing that I'm very grateful for through just being a healer and life experiences is that I've been able to have that perspective.
Thanks again, guys, for joining us. I really appreciate it today with Adrienne from Red Lentil Healing. As I mentioned, she is a healer, an energetic healer, a Reiki master, a sound healer. She can tune your chakras, and she's also a medium. So you can check out her YouTube channel. You'll find that in the description box below. And also she shared some books, some further reading materials. If you're interested in learning more about your chakras, how they interact with your body, you can check out all that information in the description box, including how to get in touch with her. And guess what? We are going to do another video together in a couple of weeks where we talk about all of our mediumship stuff, ghost stories, crazy things that have happened to us. I'm telling you, you are going to want to tune in for this because we were chatting in after the video, and it was hilarious and scary all at the same time. So listen, thanks for joining. I hope you enjoyed this video. Please subscribe. Please check out her channel as well. And you guys take care. Have a great day.